It is time now for Night Court. On the docket, a case alleging Harvard University admissions files show that discrimination against Asian Americans is taking place in the process. Earlier this month, Students for Fair Admissions, led by activist Edward Bloom, put out a memo laying out how they intend to argue the case. The memo claims Harvard consistently rated Asian American applicants lower on traits like positive personality and likability, citing analysis from more than 160,000 student records. In response, Harvard says the plaintiff's analysis paints a dangerous picture of the admissions process by omitting critical data like personal essays and teacher recommendations. Tonight's Legal Eagles criminal defense attorneys Bob Bianchi and Philip Snyder. Gentlemen, welcome to the show.
Hey, Shannon.
Welcome. Thank you.
Okay, so let's put a couple of things out there. First of all, here is what we're hearing from some of the folks who were involved. They say that they have had a chance to look at a number of files the plaintiffs had. They want them to be released publicly because they say Harvard needs to show everyone what they're doing. Harvard says that's kind of like a trade secret. We're not going to do it. Bob, what are the odds you think these applicants actually get them to go public with that material?
I don't know if they're going to get public because there's a lot of privacy issues with regard to sensitive student information. But the judge will review this information in camera, will give it to the litigants and probably tell them that they can't disseminate it anywhere else because that data is highly relevant factually to the outcome of this lawsuit.
Okay, Philip, this is part of what the plaintiffs are claiming. They say incontrovertible evidence shows that Harvard's admissions policy has a disproportionately negative effect on Asian Americans vis-a-vis similarly situated white applicants that cannot be explained on non-discriminatory grounds. What say you?
Well, let's look at the facts, not what they're saying. The facts are that Harvard's admission is like a melting pot. 50% of their applicants accepted are minorities. 50% are women and 23% are Asian Americans. So I don't know how they are contorting these numbers, but it's not just based on SATs and ACT scores. It's a whole process that Harvard looks at to determine the eligibility of these students. And I think they're trying to manipulate the data to focus on one tiny subset that may or may not show some racial bias. But overall, Harvard, again, is a melting pot, and Asian Americans are well represented at the university.
Okay, Harvard says this. Harvard College does not discriminate against applicants from any group in its admissions processes. We will continue to vigorously defend the right of Harvard and other universities to seek the educational benefits that come from a class that is diverse on multiple dimensions. And Bob, you know the Supreme Court has been very careful in making decisions about this, saying you can use race as part of a holistic, overall, multifaceted number of factors admissions process, but you can't have quotas.
Shannon, that's right on the money. And these are 5-4 decisions in the Supreme Court, and they are very clear that it cannot be a quota. And what the argument of the plaintiffs is, and we don't know whether factually they'll prove it or not, is that by putting the Asians in this dislikability factor, and by the way, it's also positive personality, likability, courage, kindness, whether they're wildly respected, what they're essentially doing is that downgrading for them goes so low, it's a soft quota. That's what they're saying it is. You can call it something else, but you've just basically said a whole population of people have these negative characteristics, and that is really problematic if, in fact, it's proven. And if it is, Shannon, you can be assured that a court down the road, if it's proven, is going to say that violates the previous precedents. But moreover, we got a new Supreme Court justice coming down the line, and we have the DOJ that's looking into this case with a new attorney general called Jeff Sessions. So there could be some serious problems with these 5-4 decisions.
Quick final word to you, Philip.
I mean, I agree with Bob. The irony here is that affirmative action was designed to help minorities like Asian Americans. And now it's a situation where the pendulum has switched a little bit and the weights have switched. And now Asian Americans feel that they're being disproportionately affected. It's just ironic that this is now the time where they're coming forward and saying, well, what about us? We need help too. And I do agree with Bob that when this decision changes with the new Supreme Court justice, I think that affirmative action will be on the way out.
All right, Bob and Philip, thank you both for joining us tonight. We'll leave it to our jury at home.